Shelby's mom died suddenly in the hospital. Shocked by her passing, Shelby recounts dreams, devastation, inspiration, and revelation as she tells her story and recalls personal struggle and coping strategies. She is a marvel.
Well, she was a big diva, I used to think. Her clothes, her style, she was bad, as people may say. She just, the way she carried herself, it made me want to carry myself the way she did. It was like, you know, when she entered the room, her presence lit up everything. Everyone smiled when she smiled. Everyone laughed when she laughed. She barely had a laugh. She had a whisper, I used to say, because her voice, it was so soft. And she was just a big kid. She was, and she's kind of like, you know, how my style is. She would be the first one to say, you know, let's do this, let's try this, and we'd be like, okay, you know, everyone, and then she'll con me into doing it, and I'll punk out, and I'll be like, all right, I'll do it, Mom. Well, the first dream that I had, it was the very first night that I found out that she passed. That whole night I could not sleep. That whole day I couldn't eat anything, and it was just like I kept telling my sister, I need to know if Mommy's okay. And she's like, well, how would you know? I'm like, I don't know. I need some kind of sign. I need something. And I went to sleep, and I saw my mom. She just appeared to me in this white, it was a white shirt, and she just looked at me, and she smiled. And I said, Mom, how can you leave me? And she gave me this look that she always gives me, and she just disappeared. And I woke up crying because I was relieved. And I'm like, she's fine. She's good, you know. I didn't have to, I wasn't as worried as I was of that whole day. I wasn't that worried anymore. And it was warming. It made me feel better, because she never like took time to stop and just think about her, but she thought about everyone else. And now that she's gone, like, I understand it now, because now I'm so worried about everyone else around me rather than myself. There was a couple of dreams I had. I was at my grandmother's house and just being with the family, and it was me, my sister, and my cousin Amber, and my mom, and they were laughing at me like they always do. I was always the big joke, and it was okay, because I felt like I was, you know, back in that place. And my mom, she grabbed my face. She's like, I have to go. And I'm like, no, Mom, where are you going? She's like, I have to go, but just know I love you. Tell your sister I love her too. And she called my cousin Amber Mookamook. She said, tell Amber I love her too. And she just disappeared, and I woke up in bursting tears. And I was gonna text my sister. I was gonna text her and tell her about the dream, but I heard my mom as clear as day say, no, call her. And I was like, let me call her. And when I called her, and we cried on the phone together. And since that day, I was like, you know, with the dreams, and it just makes me feel so much closer to her. Like, she's still here. I feel it. And it makes me feel so much better, just the dreams. Because it's like I don't have to say, okay, you know, she's on vacation, because sometimes it does feel that way. But with the dreams, it feels like she's still here and she's still home. My niece, she could not say grandma. And when she did finally began to say grandma, my mom said, no, I'm too young to be grandma. You're going to have to call, you know, you have to mix it up with something. So it was Grandma and Annie. And we got Grammy, because Annie is her middle name. We'll go like a month or something and not speak. And she goes, we haven't had a talk in a long time. Come on, let's talk. And I'm like, okay, Mom. But we did a lot of things, but those are the most, like, that's the most thing that I really miss about her, was the talks. Most of the time she wanted to talk about, you know, what was going on with me. We talked about everything though. She was like my best friend. We talked about everything. She wanted to talk about, like, you know, what was going on with me in school, or what was going on with me in relationships. What was going on, like, you know, what was bothering me, what was bothering her. I can sit and tell her about my dreams and my feelings and how I was feeling, and she would just take the time to listen. I turned the key, and I went looking for her, and I went directly into the living room, and I found her on the floor in the kitchen, and she was laying there, And I asked her, I said, Mom, I was like, are you okay? And she said, she couldn't respond. Like, she didn't respond at all. Me until my godmother came there to the hospital, and she hugged me, and that's when I just let everything out. Everything that I was holding in for 3 hours, it just came out like a waterfall. Normally, if I'm upset, my music would help me, and I normally listen to gospel. I could not listen to my gospel for about a month because it was so, not to say sad, but that's the type of music that my mom listened to, so it just brought on all of this overwhelming feeling. So what I did was I decided to reach out to the people closest to me. It was a number of people because I just felt like I didn't want to pour out everything on one person. My sister, we tried talking about it, but we were both too emotional to deal with it together. My grandmother was a blessing to me. My best friend, Marva, and my other best friend, Lalitza, they helped me a lot. I went on a retreat with my school for leadership, and we were talking about just family and friends, and it brought me back to common ground. And I'm like, you know, I need these people because these people are going to help me heal. And then when I did get back, we went to Pennsylvania. When I got back, I called them, and they were like, you know, I understand that you were going through something, and I just had to let you, you know, heal on your own. But I'm like, I can't do this without you guys. So they would call me. We would go out. We would maybe movies or something. I remember between my mom passing and the funeral, my cousins and we went bowling, and we had so much fun. And I remember coming back home to my sister's house, and all of that fun and excitement, it just went down. We went from like 10 to about a 1. That you can't be happy in sad times, because you can be. And my mom wasn't a sad person at all. Like, she was very, very, like, just a joyous and fun person. So it's like, you know, why not? And just talking about it to anyone actually helped me. Eventually I did turn on my gospel, and I felt so much better. I was running from it for a while, but my gospel really, really helped. Going to church, talking to God. I prayed, and I was non-stop praying. I actually didn't really want to talk about it too much with my family, only because they were healing too. So I really used my best friends as a crutch, excuse me. I used them as a crutch, and they really brought me back to like common ground. Find something that is fun to you and do it. Whether it's listening to music, whether it's reading, whether it's being around family, just do that. And not forgetting that, you know, it's okay to be happy in sad times. I just recently graduated, and I did it for my mom being my motivation.